There's off by Zapars and then follows up with Lawrence too. So before we even left the Slurpee Swamp, he was already working on his second elimination.
Hey, they started this game roughly 8 points down of 8th place, which is Josh and Yamzo. With those 2 eliminations, they're trying to close the gap. Luckily, Yamzo was able to get one. It was a trade because Higgs, again, once it did struck, taking down Yamzo before you can actually clean it up. But you're going to see how these strats are changing as the game goes on. More and more players are willing to take that risk, send their teammate elsewhere, try to find those eliminations. And once Zone 4, once Zone 5 hits, that's when they start playing closer together again.
This little play right here from Peterbot. He's just watching what's going down there, seeing if he had an opportunity to open up. Nothing big reveals itself, so off he goes, and that could have been a nice little hunting rifle shot, but let's see it. He also finds Lawrence, so it was that a pickaxe, little damage in there just to go ahead and add the salt to the wound.
All right, sticking towards their drop. They know they have a lot of extra barrels. You're seeing 7 shockwaves in the inventory of Clix. I feel like he's the one that's trying to stay alive. We've seen Higgs already get aggressive early on, so he's just maybe trying to keep that in the back of his mind. I might need all of this rotation just in case Higgs does go down, but you've seen it's already working out. They have 4 eliminations early on as a team, 3 of them on Higgs due to that strategy, and you see him elsewhere, away from Clix on the map, again, looking for these important eliminations if they want to close the gap.
Here it is, Peterbot just sticking to it. Catches Lowen the first time, comes back, picks him up again. That's Lawrence's 3rd elimination. Unfortunately, this game just falling victim to getting recycled for points right now. Cold and Rapid over at the Steamy Stacks. Okay, so this is the first time they're going to have a lot of time to work with as the zone is favoring the northern side. The west there. Higgs and Clix though. Oh, big headshot there onto Yamzo. Add that to the reels.
Yeah, and I got to imagine that's got to be frustrating. Now Josh is just getting jumped on by Higgs. This could be a big way to kind of stop the tempo. Remember, they're neck and neck on that leaderboard. Does look like Yamzo did get back into the game, though. So for Josh, buying time is no longer needed. It's about surviving, trying to stay alive, so you don't both have to go on the hunt for loot. But Josh cannot take on the 1v2 against Clix and Higgs. They do get the elimination, but at least he bought enough time to get a chance back in.
What a different game, though. 7 eliminations here. That is massive here. I mean, I was going to say 7 times 3 is 21 points worth already. Hold up, though. Forget the math. Peterbot, Boyo have more to deal with right now. They have Sharkman in sight. Boyo now has officially arrived here. Sharkman trying to squeeze out what health he could. He gets caught in the cone, has to get out. The edits come through. It's just not going to be enough. What can you do there? Peterbot secures the elim, puts them up at 4 elims now, and they're just playing with house money.
Yeah, 4 HP though. Peterbot barely surviving. And that's the blessing and the curse of the slurp water there down below is, yes, you can use it to regenerate HP and shield, but it's going to give away those audio visuals. There's no chance of him hiding and survive. And the aggression that they have, again, you're seeing them go across Slurpee Swamp constantly, north, south, east, west. They're just keeping themselves in a progression mode of constantly getting eliminations. And I almost think you see that in the feed. If you're 2nd place, 3rd place, 4th place, or anybody else looking to catch up, and you see Peterbot, Poyo, you know you're gonna have to start getting active.
It's demoralizing. I mean, I wouldn't want to put myself in that situation, but neither could I. I'd never make it a finals lobby with that boy. But here you have it. Acorn bolts on the other side, making the rotate right now. And again, just trusty, you know, getting straight to it, waiting for that end game. Nothing to worry about.
I'm not sure of the entirety of the loot pool. I know there is the double trouble, but then you have the Mythic Havoc here. There are very few weapons in the loadout that can 1-pump monster. Very few. And Bolts has the 1-pump monster of the Mythic Havoc. So if he ends up in a fight, he can end it with just 1 shot. Bolts, I have my eyes locked on you this game, brother.
Yeah, hey, look, one thing's for certain is, you know, Bolt and Acorn are playing this like it is a literal grand finals lobby.
Yo, bro.
And, you know, you can't get rebooted. They are taking their time. They're putting themselves in key positioning.
Who are you
They
rooting for
showing
right
up
now?
in every single end game, and you got to respect that because you have a whole bunch of other
I'm gonna
players
go play
really leaning
a solo
into the
cash
fact that,
cup,
hey, look,
but
let's fight
invite
for
me
England. Let's
when
just push these fights 'cause we can.
you want to play. I'd say, bro.
Zone here, 30 seconds. It will close. We'll move into the 5th, and this is almost like that
That's
danger
like
signal of saying, hey, team, zone's about to be closing soon. Reboots are
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
be turning off in the next couple of zones. You have to start being very, very cautious
Yeah,
about how you
nice, bro.
rotate in and around this map.
It's
Because if you
the
go
solo
down, yes,
ranked
you do
club
have a
battle
chance
royale.
to reboot before the 7th zone
It could
closes
be
them off.
bronze
But getting not
in
only
battle
back
royale.
into the game, but getting a loadout that you can find
Yeah, bro.
success
See ya.
with, that is what's going to be hard. And after
Yeah.
all the early game struggles, you see Josh and Iamzo trying to slow things down. They may have weapons in their
Alright,
arsenal,
bro.
but you see empty
Get you
item
in.
slots and a huge lack of resources.
Yeah, this is desperation at its finest right now. Just trying to really work with what they got at this point. I mean, gotta count their lucky stars that Cold and Rapid have already moved down and found someone else to fight here, as Light is the one who's under pressure right now. Haven't seen much from this player just yet, but you probably see why. Just having a tough time right now, even fighting off the singular Cold. And he's got the advantage, little as you know. Like, Cold doesn't have much health to work with, and he just turned and burned. I mean, things might be a little bit better.
Yeah, and I saw Vlex go down in the feed, so for Light in the next couple of seconds, it's important that he did create that distance to stay alive because he was the only one with a chance to get them back into the game. As Cold looking around his POI, they're just trying to find some extra heals here. He does not want to have to use these slurp juices, and that's why he's immediately making his way on over towards that vending machine so that way he can buy the patch-ups, buy the med kits only if they're needed.
Yeah, he came. That came in just in the nick of time. He was very, very low. If Josh would have been only slightly better, I'm not sure if he would have made it there. But nonetheless, that's not the reality that we're looking at right now. Still, though, they're on the move, burning through these grapple hooks. They must have plenty of work with it. Gold just lasers in on Flex and shuts him down. It's almost as if he knew exactly where he was.
Yeah, and that's gonna be a full-on wipe too. They got Lights, they got Vlex. So that team is out of the game here early in game 4. 18 teams still up though. And it's usually around zone 8, zone 9, we start to see those teams go down. And it's very, very important you do make it that far because they are going to be dropping. Next thing you know, it's from 18, you blink, 15, you blink again, 12. And that is where you're able to kind of pick up some of those placement points merely by staying alive. And that's why you see the launch pads really start to come into form. It was Acorn and Bolts first, and then it's Cold and Rapid. So I'm just interested to see who else starts to take that strategy in the second half of the tournament.
Yeah, it was definitely effective. We saw a lot of teams, especially around zone 8 or 9, super shy, timid about going for that high ground and really just exposing themselves for the most part. So plenty of opportunity to take advantage of the strategies at play. But let's lock in with Higgs and Clicks really quickly. What an early game, right? 7 elims, hasn't slowed down since. They have just managed to make their way into the middle of the next zone. And this is looking mighty comfortable for the duo right here.
Yeah, you see them safely farm, making sure nobody's hiding inside, lurking. Just going to quickly try to hit a one pump. I like their approach to this situation. Storm Surge is not a worry at all. Only worry for Clicks and Higgs that I do have if the zone bounces back. You see Steamy Stacks. You see the hill where Paper and Rezi are at. So making a change in rotation like that is not going to come without risk of its own. As we jump on board, Paper and Rezi, 117 points. Such an impressive day so far for them. We know how good Paper can be, but I want to give credit to Rezi here, putting a lot for somebody that hasn't really had a lot of these moments to shine. I got to give him credit for shining bright today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's just holding his own, but Higgs seems to have found Boyo in the feed, and we get the instant replay here. Take a look at that. Just top-down angle right here, and then tries to shockwave in. Oh, I respect it for sure, but Peterbot manages to somewhat sneak his way out of that. And Boyo does touch down. I saw the health bar there, so he's back in the game. That's going to cost them a lot. Notice what's going to happen. They're going to have to split their heals, possibly weapons, and the materials. I doubt he's able to find anything at this point in the game.
Yeah, and if you know them, they almost feel like they might try to force a fight here, depending on where this next zone goes. See a replay, a lot of action happening in this game. Agers realizing, hey, he's within reach of that top 2 position. He is 3rd place on that leaderboard. Obviously, winning a game gets you that extra 10 points, first over 2nd place, but an easier way to close the gap is find easy eliminations like that. And you're seeing the advantages of Steamy Stacks. I think I spoke about this in game number 1. If it pulls towards the north, you get free high ground.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what's your take on this? Because they just managed to build this huge base up here as well. So they have a lot of optionality.
And they don't even have to like take the steamy floaty down. They have the shockwaves. They can crash pad down. You can build and extend it outward on the other side of that. And I think that's what Rapid was kind of doing, scouting ahead on the other side of that stack. You're seeing already those ramps build. They have no plans of coming down anytime soon. And this is really interesting because in our previous 3 games so far, nobody wanted to take high ground in 7th, 8th zone. Now they get a free high ground way far away from shockwave distance as well.
You know, I gotta give credit though to Cold. He just keeps going for height. This time, you know, granted it's given to him on a platter, as Peterbot in the replay right there continues to find eliminations. That's actually a critical one. That's gonna put Boyo possibly back in the game now. You have to assume he has a full loadout to work with right there. So I didn't think I'd say it, but what an impact frag right there as they find one here in this game. Back to Higgs and Clicks. 8 elims, as we saw. The last one was on to Boyo, putting them in that tough spot as they've crawled their way out of it though.
Man, look at the backside of the zone though, and it's gonna force Peterbot Boyo, it's gonna force Yamzo, even Clicks and Higgs out of position, but they find through the stairs. Yamzo with the help of Clicks and Higgs, an unlikely trio play being made here in the finals of the Reload Elite Series. Yamzo, unfortunately enough, can't even push in to get that loot.
I mean, they're just on a correction course here. Higgs is like, hey dude, didn't I say you're out of this game, buddy? Knocks him once again. So unfortunate that he didn't have time to react. That's like one of those weird spots you can't even put a wall, right? Because they had the staircase there. Unfortunate for him. Cold though. Team have to come down. No one's really got height just yet. Yeah, I was gonna say they're coming off that stack.
Talk about what Acorn and Bolts were doing with the launch pad to get out of render distance. They already started in the clouds before the launch pad was even taken. Now they're higher up, but Peterbot is making things happen. Gets a knock and elimination onto Stiff, trying to get himself the material needed, especially if he's having a solo run. Rezi and Paper just trying to stay in front of the zone. Nobody at this point in time really confirming themselves as the team to beat on height.
Yeah, this is a tough one to hold height as well because you don't see a lot of other high structures. There's no mountains around, so shockwaves are going to be devastating to anyone that goes up early. I mean, it's going to be susceptible to an easy break here, but Ritual and Ager say, screw that. We're just going to go on and commit to it anyways, and they find themselves looking to go ahead and base up and outwards. We'll see how long that will last them, and we'll see how safe it is making this play right here. Now look at this, going just recommitting to structuring up that base right there, so they have somewhat of a strong foundation. Shadow Virgo though have to make a move. This is a team that was holding on to 3rd place pretty strongly in the first 3 games, with that 4th one now at play here.